We are back on the record on Paslaski versus Mars.
We are back on the record. We had some technical difficulties. We are able to resume. Mr. Paslaski, I'll remind you, you're still under oath.
Yes, Your Honor.
You may, Mr. Starks, you may inquire.
Thank you, Ron. Mr. Paslaski, before the technical issue, we were discussing whether or not you knew where Katie lived between January and June of 2021. Can you tell me, did you know Katie's exact address between January and June of 2021?
I had no idea. I knew it was Candlewick Apartments. I didn't know what apartment or what building.
All right. Do you have that information now?
Yes.
Do you believe that there are enough bedrooms in that apartment for Katie, Ms. Mars, to have overnight visits with your children?
No.
Are you aware of what the living conditions are like in that apartment based upon things that Ms. Mars has told you?
Yes, and it's not good.
All right. And is Ms. Mars, when you say it's not good, very briefly, can you tell us what's not good about it?
Air conditioning condenser unit has a leak in the bedroom, and it has been leaking for weeks on end. There is mold apparently, and the bedroom smells. Everything is out into the living room. They are currently sleeping out into the living room and the dining room. She said to get into the kitchen, she has to go over her bed and then through the dining room.
Okay. So it sounds like everyone, when the kids are there and when Katie and her boyfriend are home, everyone is sleeping in the living room and in the dining room.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do you know if Ms. Mars is going to be moving into a bigger apartment by the end of June?
She said the 14th now of July.
Okay. So the date for a bigger apartment keeps getting pushed back.
Yes.
Okay. Does Ms. Mars have car seats and booster seats that are appropriate for each child?
No.
Very briefly, tell me about that.
She doesn't have any for my son Liam. He's 7, but he still needs a booster seat.
Okay. And then is it Summer is your middle daughter?
Yes.
And does she have the appropriate car seat?
She has the appropriate, yes, she has a booster seat. Sophia doesn't have the appropriate car seat. She has a booster seat. She's supposed to be in a back booster seat, and she just has the base.
Okay. And does Ms. Mars have clothing at her apartment for the children?
No, I am still currently providing that.
Does Ms. Mars have personal hygiene items for the children at her apartment?
She does now after I provided that from my social worker.
All right. And when did that happen? When did you provide the personal hygiene items to her?
2 weeks, last Friday.
That's Friday. Okay. Has Katie ever shown up to pick up the children smelling like alcohol?
Once on a Thursday.
All right. Did you ask her about it?
Yes, she says no. I asked her to breathe, and it kind of smelled like it, but not really much. It could have been mouthwash, or she could have brushed her teeth, and it could have been that. So I let it go at that.
Okay. Let's talk about where you live. The place that you are living, how long have you lived there?
I want to say, man, it feels like 4 or 5 years now.
Okay. And do the children have their own bedrooms in your house?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Do they have their own beds?
Yes, ma'am.
Their own clothing?
Yes, ma'am.
Toys?
Yes, ma'am.
Personal hygiene items?
Yes, ma'am.
And these are all things that you have supplied for them?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you organize or provide transportation to and from school for the children?
Yes, ma'am.
Daycare?
Yes, ma'am.
And then medical appointments. Are you the one who organizes the medical appointments for the children?
Yes, ma'am.
And how about counseling and dentist appointments? You do that as well?
Yes, we are currently starting counseling coming July. I think it was 7th or 8th or something like that. I can't remember the actual date, but yeah.
Okay. And Has Katie assisted at all with helping the children get to and from school?
No, she hasn't even offered.
Daycare?
Nothing.
Doctor appointments?
No, ma'am.
Therapy?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you want sole legal custody of your children?
I would love sole legal. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Do you want sole physical custody of your children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You understand that there's currently a temporary parenting time order in place.
Yes.
Do you think that schedule is what's best for the children, or do you think that needs to be changed?
I think it needs to be changed.
And what do you think it needs to be changed to?
If anything, she can have visitation where she can come over and see them.
Okay. So you don't feel comfortable with the children going to her or with her?
At this current state now.
Okay. And have you received any child support from Katie?
Nothing yet.
Okay. Your Honor, that is all I have with Mr. Paslaski.
Sir, is there anything, when was the last time Mom saw the kids?
She came over yesterday and saw them for about 10 minutes, but I was explaining to her that they were sick and I really didn't want them to go anywhere.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want the court to be made aware of?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Starks, any argument?
Yes, Your Honor, I think that what we have heard here is that it is in fact in the best interest of the minor children for Mr. Paslaski to have sole legal and sole physical custody. Ms. Paslaski has demonstrated very much to the court what her desire is with these children by not showing up to this hearing, by not being responsive to her own attorney. And it's actually really sad. And Mr. Paslaski is saddened by it, and he's torn between trying to protect his children and encourage a relationship with their mom. He's trying to do the best thing and the right thing. I think he's done a stand-up job of that, trying to keep a positive working relationship with them. And I think he'll continue to do that if he is in fact awarded sole legal and sole physical custody of the minor children. A major concern that he has is her alcohol use and abuse that she seems to not be able to discontinue. We've heard testimony about her continued, her history with the MIPs, the DUIs, and inevitably it sounds like that's what led to the breakdown in the parties' relationship. And that's what caused her lack of ability to show up for parenting time between the months of January and June. In fact, it wasn't until Mr. Paslaski sought out child support assistance from Ms. Mars that she even filed a parenting time motion. Ms. Mars does not have appropriate housing conditions for these children to be staying in overnight. And while Ms. Paslaski or Mr. Paslaski does want Ms. Mars to continue to have a relationship with the children, it needs to be a healthy one. And that's what he's trying to do, is foster an environment for a healthy relationship. But she seems to not be receptive to that. Your Honor, we see that Mr. Paslaski is the party who is providing stability for the children. He's providing the love, care, affection, ensuring that they're receiving their medical care and treatment, ensuring that they're receiving the education that they need and deserve, receiving daycare, and getting out, interacting with their peers, things like that. So quite frankly, he's providing their basic daily necessities, and Ms. Mars has not stepped up to do any of that. She couldn't even do so much as provide toothbrushes for the children to have at her own apartment. That speaks volumes. So in the parenting time that she did exercise, on at least 2 occasions, she was late, and that's problematic, Your Honor. So we do ask that the court award Mr. Paslaski sole legal and sole physical custody, that we suspend this temporary parenting time order and leave parenting time between Ms. Mars and the parties' minor children up to the discretion of Mr. Paslaski. And we're happy to keep in place the portion of the order that says no use of alcohol during parenting time. Mr. Paslaski, as you heard him testify, doesn't drink. That's fine. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. He's totally okay with that. He definitely wants something like that in place to ensure that Ms. Mars is not using alcohol if and when she does see the minor children. So that is what we ask for, Your Honor. Thank you.
Well, the court has many important functions, and people will debate what is the most important. And in this court's opinion, we have 2 that are very important. It's due process, letting each side have their day in court, and in cases like this, safety of the children. Like I said, people will debate, but the bottom line is I think they're both very important. And we had a hearing today. Ms. Mars was noticed of this hearing. Ms. Mars could appear at this hearing. Ms. Mars, for whatever reason, chose not to. So we have afforded Ms. Mars her day in court. She elected not to be here. This is going to be a temporary order. It's based on the testimony, and it's not based on, well, he's here, he gets what he wants. I believe his testimony that Ms. Mars, due to the consumption of alcohol, presents a danger to children. Doesn't mean she'd purposely do anything to harm the children, but I can't have someone that shows up in parenting time in the state that Mr. Paslaski testified to be in charge of the children. That's dangerous to the children. So at this time, there will be a temporary order based on the testimony, and I do believe it's in the children's best interest. Mr. Paslaski is doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's parenting. He's providing. He's keeping the children safe. And I don't like putting in an order that parenting time will be at the discretion of one party or the other, but I'll do this because I have no doubt Mr. Paslaski will care for these children. But I want it clear in the order, Ms. Starks will be preparing the order, that if Ms. Mars wants parenting time, she can petition the court. Yeah. It's unfortunate. She has kind of disappeared for a bit, and I need stability, and the kids need stability. But at this time, based on the testimony, the court will temporarily order that Mr. Paslaski will have sole legal, sole physical custody, parenting time at the discretion of the plaintiff, Mr. Paslaski. And I know I'm mispronouncing that, I'm sure. I apologize. And that I will give him the discretion because it's clear, and this is what I appreciate. And Ms. Starks is a very good attorney, and I don't think she coached you, but she probably talked to you. You did not badmouth Ms. Mars. You presented clear, concise concerns. The kids love her. That's great. I think they'd love a sober mom is what they really love. So I appreciate you not picking on Ms. Mars. You were to the point and concise, and it doesn't sound personal. It sounds like I want my kids to have a mom, but it's got to be a sober mom. And Ms. Mars has to present that. So if she is constantly coming to you asking for parenting time, if I got a motion from Ms. Starks to suspend that, she'll have to come to court to get parenting time. I don't want you to be the one that has to, I'll be the bad guy. Okay. I don't want her or the kids to think you're the bad guy. So I'll leave it in your discretion because it sounds like you got a good head on your shoulders. But if it gets to be too much, contact your attorney. But right now, sole legal, sole physical. There is a child support case. I think we're waiting for the orders. You are deemed legal father, so that's not a problem. I think the order was based on the last temporary order. The new order should be based on 0 overnights for mom. I think, and I think Mr. Paslaski testified to this. We're not even close to overnights. We're close to, I would like to get some sober time at a McDonald's or at a park. But parenting time is suspended or at the discretion of Mr. Paslaski. Ms. Mars can petition the court if she wants more. No alcohol is to be consumed up to 12 hours before parenting or during parenting time. Child support the temporary child support order should be amended to 0 overnights for mom at this time. I will not allow you to move out of the state. That's pretty standard language type things. Ms. Starks, is there anything that the court has missed?
Your Honor, I do just want to clarify for the court that the prior temporary child support order put in place gave the parties 50-50 parenting time, showed 50-50 parenting time. So when our proposed UCSO comes across your desk, it's going to look alarmingly different because we're going from 50-50 to 0 overnights. It did not, in fact, take into account the temporary parenting time order because the UCSO hearing preceded our last hearing date.
Okay.
So I did want to alert you to that. And the temporary UCSO was not even able to be entered because Ms. Town wasn't able to get a hold of Ms. Mars for approval to sign off on it. So it's still pending. So with your permission, I would like to go ahead and make sure that the child support order, well, I don't know. I would like to make sure the child support order that is entered is effective as of the date that the other order should have been entered.
I think I'm bound to sign that order because that was ruled upon, but I will order that today's 0 overnights can go into effect today. I don't know if that affects child support much. It doesn't sound like there's going to be a lot of child support out there, unfortunately.
True. Yeah.
But I think I have to sign the one that's floating out there because I can't just say, well, it didn't happen because there's a record of it happening.
And I believe that's accurate. Yes, Your Honor. So I will get in touch with the prosecutor's office then to see if they will submit that under the 7-day so that we can actually finalize it. And I'll make them aware of the current situation because they might still be waiting on Ms. Town unknowingly.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you prepare that order?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
And, I don't know, this is on YouTube, so maybe Miss Mars is watching. It's Dad, your parenting time is suspended unless Dad wants to allow some, but if Miss Mars wants to petition the court, she can, and we'll take it after a hearing when I get evidence from both sides as to what's best for the children. But today, there's clear and convincing evidence it's best that sole legal and sole physical and parenting time suspended or at the father's discretion works. Keeps the children safe. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank
Your Honor.
you.
All right. Best of luck to you and the kids. Thank you, Ms. Starks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We'll be adjourned. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Thank you for your
Thank you for being
patience.
tenacious.